Hello everyone, this is another vlog update. So, um, man, I'm so bad at talking about myself. Um, Today I went to go to see a show with this girl. It's like a Jewish girl I matched on Tinder with. And it's weird because I guess I don't know, I'm critical of Jewish people in Israel, but I guess, I don't know. I don't feel so good. I shouldn't be making this vlog. I shouldn't be making this vlog, but I'm just gonna say what I want to say right now because it's a good exercise. I don't like the way I sound. I think I sound stupid, like a girl or something. And a lot of people have called me names about how I sound. And also, I didn't like my um, therapist today. I was mad at him because he was being annoying and acting scared. And also, I feel fat and I can feel my heart beating right now. And I feel fat because I ordered DoorDash and I feel sick. My throat is sore. And I had a headache earlier and I took Tylenol and it helped though. And I got Halls, so it helped my throat. But, and then I guess I got I don't know, I can talk to girls. I can talk to women. I feel like I sound like such a little kid. Like, not manly at all or something. But I can talk to women, or some women attract women, but it's it fizzles out, or once they get to know me they stop talking to me. um and I just feel like such a loser because I've been off work for um such a long time, and now I'm on disability and stuff. But I'm actually happy about that because I don't want to be at a shitty job right now. I'm lucky and blessed. um and also, I don't know, I just been feeling so bad for such a long time. It's actually crazy that I've been feeling so bad for such a long time. Um but um I don't know. I don't really have any friends, to be honest. I mean, I have maybe one friend, but I can't really trust anyone that easily. I kind of trust this person a little bit, but then in the back of my mind, it's when are they gonna not like me anymore? You know, when are they gonna start hating me? And so that feels bad. And um, I've been watching a lot of politics. I've been into politics, and I watch far right politics. The stuff that is so controversial. Politics is controversial, but I've been watching far right, like Nick Fuentes, and I'm a big fan of his actually. But I'm embarrassed to say it because I feel like everyone's gonna just hate me if I say it. But I am a big fan of his because I know that he's saying a lot of stuff that's true and right. So I know it's good. It's a good thing, basically. But it's very polarizing. It's true to me. To me, it's true. It is true to me because he is talking about God, and he's talking about stuff that I know is true, about who runs the world, which is Jews, Jewish people, and Israel. And I just I know that's true, but it's so polarizing and it's so frustrating too. I'm going crazy too because of it. I feel like so many people are going crazy, not just me. I feel like I've been going crazy for a long time, but now I feel like I'm going almost more normal in a way. But I still have no friends, so I just feel very vulnerable because I don't have any support people. and I'm like vulnerable to criticism, but I'm also afraid of being myself because uh, I've been bullied so much in the past, and I guess I just put up like a protective shell in a way, or like something like that. Or like something that I do is that I subconsciously I mirror people, and I like absorb their personality kind of in a way. But I really hate that too, so then I'm actively trying not to do that too. But it just makes things awkward, really. And I don't know. And I pick up on energy so much all the time. I think I always kind of have in a way, but I'm more like sensitive to it now since I did take like a heroic dose of mushrooms like 2 years ago. That actually really screwed me up, and I've never really had like a real chance to actually talk to anybody about it or process it because I feel like people just won't talk to me about it or like help me even discuss it at all, which is really frustrating. And I don't know. It just life is so frustrating, I feel like. Or it's so confusing and stuff, you know? Like I've just been through so much in my life, and I've been always trying to be like strong and everything. But I feel like that's almost been like a mistake because um it was like too much what I went through. To be honest, like I feel like if anybody went through what I went through, they would also probably come out it like also with so much changes to them, like pain and difficulty and everything, and like it's just crazy. And I never get a chance to even talk about it, like what I went through. You know, like so much poverty. You know, like so much neglect, so much just frustration, parentification, which is like where you have to raise your parents, and like just constant fear, constant pain. Well, not constant pain, but like constant fear, constant like anxiety. Before I even knew what anxiety was, but I was like picking up on that it was my mom's, and my dad wasn't there, and there was this screaming and yelling in my house all the time, and I was the youngest, and I was always like in this position where I had to like um pretend that everything was okay, or that I could like somehow fill the role that was needed. And so that's something now to this day that I really hate, which is um uh just like narratives or like stories in a way. I don't know if I hate them, but I just understand them. I feel like that everything, almost everything, is basically like in some way or another a story, and it's so complex and it's so like involved, but the way it gets complex is that it's perspectival, meaning that each person has like a perspective, and that our stories kind of like line up, and there's all these like um I don't know if tacit is the right word, but like implied things. You could call it maybe like social contract things, but just things that people agree on, sort of, or that they don't say. And like things that are happening, but like people, the only thing that's different is like what people feel on the inside. And like there's all these like guessing games that go on too about like what people are really feeling, you know? And like it's so complicated and it's so crazy. But basically, I don't know. I just had to feel. I feel like I had to study all that stuff, and I learned all that stuff kind of as a survival technique in a way, or like I was just like surviving like most of my life. Like I've been just surviving, you know. And like I don't know. I'm just having such a miserable time in life most days. Even though like maybe I should be lucky or something like this. Or, like I do have blessings in my life, and I am thankful to God for the blessings and stuff in my life. But I don't really feel anything. Like, I don't feel anything ever. I feel like kind of like sick, kind of like out of it, kind of like some negative things. I feel like bad energy when I'm walking around and there's somebody coming and I don't want to be on that side of the street to walk by them, so I'll cross the street. So I only like feel like bad things usually. But I'm so also like um uh divided on the inside, or like conflicting on the inside, because I don't even want to talk about bad things. I feel like, it's just all rattles around in my head constantly because I can't even talk about it to anybody. Like, who cares? Like, that's such an important question, I feel. Like, who gives a crap? And so I try to come back to, like, the shared reality, or, like, you know, some type of reality that is functional. But I hate it. Like, I hate the functional reality. Like, I would like it if I felt good and I had people around me that I, like, friends and family, and I was, like, supported, and I had, like, a sense of purpose or a job or something. But, like, in reality, I don't really have much of that. Like, at all, really. I don't really have much of that. And I don't know, I just watch, like, politics. I watch, like, YouTube all day, and I go to the gym, and I don't really talk to anybody. Talk to my mom, talk to my brother, talk to, like, one person off of Talk Life, which is an app. Send, like, stupid Snapchats back and forth with girls from dating apps, and it's like, it doesn't go anywhere. Dating in relationships is so complicated and messy. And, like, I feel like an idiot because I've taken a class called Close Relationships, like a 4th year psychology course. And I wrote, like, a good paper on it about how to have a successful relationship. I got, like, an 88 out of 100 on it, So I must have wrote something right in there. But, like, I can't do anything, Like, I have, like, this ability to do stuff, but I can't do anything. I'm just like, man, what the heck? The heck is that? I don't even want to say any of this because I just don't want to get shut down by somebody who's, like, all sucked into, like, some mindset videos or some shit. I just hate everything. Like, I really, I hate this 2025 sucks. Like, it's not as good as, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. It's not as good. There's, like, so much degeneracy, and people are so annoying. Like, I couldn't even describe to you how annoying people are, but they're just so annoying. They're so annoying because everybody's got some freaking narrative that they're trying to push down your throat, or, like, it's like some tip of the iceberg shit with everybody, and you can never, like, catch a vibe. You can never, like, catch a vibe and have an important conversation with anybody, almost. Like, that's what it feels like. And I don't really know what to say. Like, I just feel like rants like this are, like, not allowed in real life. Like, it's, like, impossible. Like, you can't even have a rant anymore. Like, or, like, a shared rant, or, like, anything. Like, I don't know. It's just sucks. It sucks, Birth rates are, like, so collapsed. Canada's just, like, an immigration nightmare. It's all old people too. It's like 18% over 65. If it was 20%, which it will probably be in a few years, it'll be a super aged society. So it's like all boomers and all immigrants. The women are a mess. The men are a mess, obviously, as you can probably tell. But, like, they're even, like, worse than me. Like, a lot of these men that you see walking around are, like, even worse than me. And none of the men can, like, say boo to the women either in Canada. We're all, I don't know what the word is, cucked. Women run the society, that's for sure. because men won't say anything negative. Everybody's like on edge or defensive or whatever. It sucks, man. It really sucks. It really, really sucks. It's just, I don't know what happened. Like, what happened? You know? Is it all psyops? Is it the internet? Is it a combination of things? Is it 5G? Is it freaking COVID vaccines? Is it, I don't know, probably some more out there, you know? And I don't really believe in 5G, but I do believe COVID was a scam. But, like, I don't believe 5G conspiracies, but I don't know, it's also, it's hard to know what to believe, too, you know? You can find people that will support anything, like, on either side as well. Like, the weird thing is, some people might support, like, this video, but, like, I'm not so full of myself to think that a lot of people are going to watch this or care, but I think that, like, even some people might support this video, or some people might think I'm, like, a huge pussy, faggot, whiner, you know? Man. Feel freaking good to rant, though, I'll tell you that much. Because I don't really complain much, but that's why it kind of builds up. Like, it builds up big time if you don't ever get to complain and you just, like, have to be, like, positive and happy all the time, even though your life was shit. And the horrible thing is that, like, my family won't acknowledge it, you know? They won't acknowledge anything. My family's so crazy, you know? But I think they're kind of narcissists. Actually, it made me mad because I went to therapy today, and then I talked to my therapist, and he was being annoying today. And I was telling him, like, yeah, well, my family, they're focused on themselves. Like, they're, you know, kind of narcissists. And he's like, well, do you think you're like your mom in any way? It's like, oh, okay, so you're calling me a narcissist? Like, I literally told him, like, it's for protective reasons that they do that. So it's like, it's for protective reasons that I would do it too, or anyone would do it, you know? Like, it starts when you're a child, basically. And it's because children have no ability to, like, fully regulate themselves, like their nervous system or their emotions or anything. So they need their mother, they need their father, they need their family. And if they don't get that, well, they become scared, you know? And I didn't get that. My mom was freaking scared the shit out of me. And she's still a mess. She's like homeless. She lives in her car. It's like, who likes that? Who wants that for their mother? And I told her, you know, it's pride that you do that. And I've told her she's a narcissist, you know. But I told her it's pride that you do that because she won't accept help from anybody. But meanwhile, other people suffer. So it's like, it's really selfish. But like, I go to therapy. Like, I go to therapy. I go and I try and do all these freaking things, man. I try and do all these things, like therapy, craniosacral massage, psychologist, psychiatrist. I've tried tons of medication. And it's like, why am I really doing all that? Well, one, I'm not going to commit suicide because I believe in God. So I don't believe in committing suicide. You know, you go directly to hell, basically. And two, I think that there is a reason for suffering. You know, you can help other people. You know, it's like a test, basically. It's like you learn from it, and it's like, I think that God only gives you what you can handle, basically, like what you can bear. Nothing more. So Yeah, basically that, like, and then it increases faith. Like, the whole point of it is faith, basically, which faith is belief, and that's like what you believe in. So basically, it's like, you know, all of it's pretty much led me to God, or back to God, I guess, because I went away for a long time. But now it's like it will help me to increase faith in other people, like increase faith in me, and now it helps me increase faith in other people. And I just think people are so like fucking faithless. Like, they're literally infidels, which infidel just means like no faith. Um and that's pretty sad, honestly. That's probably the biggest tragedy. That's probably the biggest bad thing about society, is like the lack of faith. And it's like, what do people put their faith in? They put their faith in feeling good, basically. Well, like, I guess you could say like instant pleasure or hedonism or something. Or like sustained good or something like this, or like happiness or positivity. So there's all these like weird things. Like, white people have all these like weird things that they kind of like put their faith in now. But a lot of it is just not God. And there's all these like weird spiritual type of people. There's a lot of atheists, and there's a lot of like kind of spiritual people. And there's actually a lot of pagans too. But like, yeah, I'm a Catholic. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, and God the Father. And I believe that God is like holy, which holy means clean. So he's perfectly clean. And I believe that he's the most holy, so he's the most clean. And I believe that he's immortal. Holy immortal one, holy eternal one, and holy mighty one. So basically, God is the most holy, the most mighty, the most immortal, and the most eternal. Well, most, it doesn't apply to the last two, but he is eternal and immortal. But like, so he always was, always will be. But I kind of visualize God in a way as like the eternal golden braid, if you've ever read that Douglas Hofstadter book. But as like basically kind of like an energy, you could say maybe kind of like a fractal, but this is sort of like this energy. I think one guy said that God like casts, or not casts, God spreads himself over everything, but he's also in everything, something like this. And then I know that we share the minds of angels. I don't know if that was in the Bible or in the writings about the Bible from the Catholic Men of the Word Bible study I did, but we do share our minds are shared with angels. And also I've read that we will become gods, or like gods, or become gods. And I'm not sure about that. That was definitely written in I don't know if that was taken from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, or if it was from the Men of the Word Bible study, but I thought that was interesting, and I'm not sure about that one either. But I feel like we'll be united with God. Like, basically we're separated with God because we're sinners. Like, that's the original sin. So we're separated from God, and like the whole thing is like get back to God. Like, our life is like become united with God again. And I kind of have an idea of why we're here on earth, and it's sort of got to do with love, and the fact that love is a choice. Like, you get to choose to love. Therefore, everything must exist because of love and God's love for us. Because that's also the reason we have free will. But it's because if God were to force us to love him, or force us to do stuff, do things, and not give us a choice, that wouldn't be love. So by definition, because love is a choice, we have to have free will, and we have to get the opportunity to choose to love God through our suffering, in spite of our suffering. You know, we're sinners. Like, sin basically just means that you're separated from God. So whenever we sin, like my big sin has always been lust, or like masturbation and porn use, ever since I was 5. Like, that's crazy, right? But I'm 30 now. But I went to confession yesterday. I went to confession yesterday and confessed about it again. I've done it for like already now like 2 years or something. And I've been doing like, NoFap and everything. Even though I had a slip up, but that feels bad to me because it separates me from God. And it's also really embarrassing and shameful too, just in general, like for life reasons, What guy wants to say that they jerk off all the time? Some people actually somehow take this as a badge of, some type of a badge, false pride or something, where they're like proud of being gooners or whatever. It's the new term. But the more common thing that people do now, or have done, or do often, is that everything's a joke. And whenever they say anything, it's like half joking as a way to protect themselves. I've done that before. A lot of people do that, I feel like, young people especially, but also even older people, and they're all so sarcastic. It's one reason I hate Reddit and Redditors, because it's like constant sarcasm. Even though they're like annoying as hell people, it's like they survive through sarcasm. But and so many women are sarcastic all the time. It's annoying. But anyways, yeah, so confession, confessing your sins brings you back into God's grace, because you're asking for forgiveness. You're acknowledging that you've done wrong, and then asking for forgiveness, and God always forgives. And when you forgive somebody, you will also be forgiven too, which is something I need to work on, because I have some people that I haven't forgiven. My sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, my other sister, my old friends, like 3 or 4 of them, and it's like super hard to forgive people. You know what I mean? In the Bible, they call this hardening of the heart. It's like your heart gets really hard, and it's like that bitterness, it becomes bitterness, and it turns into hatred too. But it's just like, when you don't forgive people, when you're mad at people and you hold that inside, and like you never actually in your heart forgive people, you won't be forgiven either. And you're supposed to, and I'm kind of saying you, but I'm also talking about me, but we're supposed to forgive our brothers and our sisters before we even go to God, And we're supposed to forgive our brother like 77 times. And everyone is our brother and sister. This is why I love religious conversation, because it's so deep and it hits so true. But it's just like, yeah, you don't really get a religious conversation anywhere. Like, it's so hard to find anybody to talk about any kind of in-depth, deep, real thing about with. Like, everyone's so freaking crazy and weird, but you don't get any good conversation. And I noticed that everyone wants to dominate the conversation all the time. And also, they get taken up by women all the time. And I'm just like, man, this is so whack. Because women don't want to talk about anything important, really. And they also, it's like they feed off of like men's energy or attention too. And they can just freaking go and go and go forever. And they just want to be validated constantly. And it's like, you're not right all the time, you know? But it's like, no man is able to even tell them that. No man even wants to have that, start that conversation. You know what I mean? Lay down the law in a type of way. Like, that is gone. That is so gone. It's so gone. It's just avoided, basically. Avoidance is the main thing. It's just like avoided, you know? Anyway, kind of a long rant. But, yeah, it's been a pretty big day for politics. Yesterday, July 20th, 2025, Trump posted a AI video of Obama getting taken away in handcuffs. And then he posted an AI video of Obama in a jail cell in an orange jumpsuit. And it's because they have this like Russia hoax information from the DNI, Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard did some investigations to find out that, I guess they have evidence that Obama fabricated that story against Trump. So now Trump's kind of implying or making it seem like Obama should be in jail or should go to jail for what he did. However, it wasn't that long ago that Trump tried to bury or do a cover-up of the Epstein file list, which Epstein was an Israeli financier who turned out to be a spy working for the Israeli government and was involved in sexual blackmail of high-profile politicians and public figures. And it's widely thought that Trump would be on the Epstein list, which is perhaps a list of flight logs or somehow in his information documents or something implicating Trump in this sort of child pedophilia. And so now Trump is saying that there is no list and that Epstein killed himself and case is closed, but a lot of people don't want to hear that, so everyone's kind of going after Trump. I think there's 93% of people don't agree with how Trump is handling it. Yeah, and I think it's a cover-up too. I do think it's a cover-up. So now maybe Trump is trying to distract people because people have a very short attention span. So maybe he's just flashing colors in another direction to get the charging bull to go in a different way. But, yeah, so I don't know. Could be something. We'll see what happens, but, yeah. I thought it was funny today, so I thought it was so crazy too. I saw that the Nelk boys, Kyle and Steiny, which I still don't really think of Steiny as a Nelk boy. Nobody likes Steiny. He's sort of like a running joke. He's the punching bag. He's the butt of the joke. But he puts up with it because I guess he's got low self-esteem or he's traded it for the fame. But and money, but him and Kyle from Nelk, he always seemed kind of like, sort of like a psychopath, like just enough of a psychopath to get rich and famous, but he kind of seems like a psycho to me. Especially when he's like this. He always does that. He kind of has a default protective face that he does. He does this like weird intense stare. But they interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu, so he's the Israeli prime minister, and they kind of did like this softball interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I kind of heard of it, and I watched some of it. Heard on clips that they didn't really press Netanyahu on anything, and then after they got a ton of hate in the comments, and I saw the video and I downvoted it too because I was like, what the hell is this? Like, that's pretty crazy that they did that, but and that they got an interview with Netanyahu, and then they went on Kick afterward, and they were talking to a bunch of people on Kick, which is a live streaming platform, about the interview, and like it was kind of funny because I actually do think Kyle is just oblivious enough. Like, he really doesn't understand the situation enough, and I don't blame him because it's such a complicated situation and the propaganda is so strong. I was propagandized. I didn't know anything about it. My parents don't really know anything about it. Nobody will say anything, but this like younger generation will actually like, they're all red pilled, to use that phrase, in terms of they see reality as it is. They've taken the red pill, not the blue pill. The blue pill is like, you're living in this fake world, but the red pill is like you see what's really going on. So the younger generation's all red pilled. And then they went on Kick, and then they invited Nick Fuentes on, which I've started watching Nick Fuentes for a couple months now at least. And I realized that he's actually really smart. He's actually on the money on a lot of things. He's probably the smartest person that I've seen talk about this. And, I kind of got red pilled myself, like maybe like 4-ish years ago. Heavily red pilled. I was before that, but I got in certain ways, like I kind of like, was seeing through the craziness, and I was like questioning things, but I was never like fully red pilled on the Jews or on Israel until like 2021, when I knew this guy on online through Steam and through a friend group on this chat platform called Mumble, and he told me to use 4chan because I told him I used Reddit, and he said Reddit is so gay, like Reddit's like total shit. And I was like, I had already kind of known this because I'd been using Reddit for like a long time, like probably like 7 years or like 8 years or like 9 years or something. I'd been using Reddit pretty heavily and on and off, and I'd finally gotten so sick of Reddit, just for my own use of it. And then he told me to use 4chan, and so then I went on 4chan, and I started getting hit with all the basic red pills, like the truth nukes and like everything that teaches you like, all the stuff that's just crazy that's gone on in the history of Israel and of Jews, and like there's like way too much to get into and to talk about, but they basically call them red pills because they're all these things that you can't really talk about, no one talks about, because they are verboten. They're not something you can speak about. They're behind so much propaganda, and yet they're true things. So it's like, do you care about what's true? Well, then read these and make up your own mind. And so anyways, I read a lot of that stuff, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy, and then so I kind of heard a little bit about Nick Fuentes a little bit, but also, just so you know, 4chan is a complete shithole. Like, it's just really terrible. I think 4chan itself is kind of like a psyop in a way. It really rots your mind, but and I don't think it's good for anybody's mental health to be on there for extended periods of time. But I was for sure for I don't know for how long, but uh, um, but so I'd kind of heard this guy's name mentioned, Nick Fuentes, around, but I had also heard a lot of stuff like, don't listen to him. He's like doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's just like a fed or a shill or something. They use all these words, and so if you just read those and you're like, oh well, I'm not gonna look at them, because it's like a heuristic thing. Why watch the full movie when you could just see a quick review? And if you trust the review, then you're probably saving yourself some time if it's a 1-star review out of 5. And so there were all these like negative reviews about Nick Fuentes, and on 4chan they were calling him like Spic Fuentes because he's part Mexican and all this, but I don't really remember why, but I did watch what he was saying, and I was just like, it's like a fresh breath of fresh air. He was saying all these things from 4chan, that I'd read, and more. I kind of thought of myself, think of myself as kind of smart. I definitely have all this, these issues, mental health issues and everything else, but I don't think I'm, a dumb fuck. I don't really think I'm, a super dumb fuck, even though I have, so much, so many issues with presenting how I speak on a normal daily basis and all this, but I don't really think I'm, that much of a dumb fuck. But he knew all these things. He was able to articulate them. He was able to assimilate the information and speak about it, quickly and in a charismatic way, and make it informative, entertaining, and also truthful. And it was all kind of coherent too. And so I was just impressed, basically. And he also knew way more. Let's say if I feel like I knew 20%, and then listening to him, it's clear he knows a whole lot more. And he's got a lot of different angles fit in. His worldview, it definitely is very solid. And he knows about huge swaths of things that I had no clue about, and nobody I talked to knows fuck all about, the Middle East. I talk to people and they're fucking stupid. They have no clue, and it's I don't really have much of an excuse either, but it was just that's the milieu that I live in, where it's just people are dumb as shit and they talk about nothing all day long, and you never learn anything. And you have no incentive to, almost. So it's just cows going around in a cow pen, or chickens clucking in a cage, we're just kind of serving our purpose as goyim or whatever. But anyway, so I thought it was really good, and I learned a lot. But then he went on the Nelk Boys podcast, and he talked to the Nelk Boys, and he was giving them facts about this Netanyahu interview. And I just think it's nice because he's kind of gaining traction, really. And so, yeah, I'm kind of getting up to speed on this whole politics thing slowly. I do enjoy it, but I do feel kind of afraid of it in a way, just because I have no one on my side, really. No one to talk to. I hope I can maybe make some friends, maybe some male friends. I could use some friends to talk to about, I don't know, whatever, politics or whatever. But anyways, that's all.